Well, welcome to the Board of Selectmen informational session for March 30th, 2021. It's 6:30. A lot of good information tonight and a presentation by the Water Department shortly here. Public input for 10 minutes. We'll take a look at the chat room, as Jackie usually does, see if anyone's put their hand up there and would like to speak on any subject. We'll give them a minute here. Meanwhile, a reminder, just 9 days until the election. Hopefully you have a good turnout for that. And what, about 32 days until town meeting. So set your calendars for that as well. So Jackie, anybody hands up?
No one at this time, Mr. Chairman.
All right, let's proceed past public input then. And Tom, I think you've got all these long list of announcements.
I've got the announcements and some reports. Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Chairman. First is you may order your printed copy of the annual town report. You may go to the town's website at wenhamma.gov/town report by April 12th, and you may be able to pick them up at Town Hall. Digital versions will be available online around mid-April. Warrants for the annual town meeting will be available online by mid-April and delivered to your home by the Postal Service by April 24th. If you have any questions, our office will be able to answer them at nroebuck@wenhamma.gov or 978-468-5520 extension 2. Trash update. They're not upset, sorry. Casella, our trash collector, is requesting the following assistance from our residents. They've recently implemented the new mechanical arm truck, which allows for more efficient collection. Due to that, our residents are asked to leave 3 feet between all bins at the curb so the mechanical arm has enough space to deploy or reach on either side of the trash bin. If there's any questions, please contact Sheila in our DPW office at 978-468-5520. We have some additional affordable housing opportunities. The Wenham Pines Affordable Housing Lottery for 2 units at the 55 and over condominium community, though young household members are welcome also, are available for purchase. There is 1 2-bedroom unit at $130,000 and 1 3-bedroom unit at $150,000. There are income limits. 1 person is $44,800. 2, $51,200, 3 persons, $57,600, and 4 persons, $63,950. Applications are due by April 15th for the April 20th lottery via Zoom. The other property is at 2B Stockwell Lane. They have an affordable rental housing unit up for lottery. It's a 2-bedroom unit equipped with a laundry and off-street parking. It's available for rent, $1,840 per month, which includes trash and recycling only. There are income limits for this one also. 1 person is $67,400. 2 people, $77,000. 3 persons, $86,650. 4 individuals at $96,250. Applications are due by April 15th. The April 21st lottery is also via Zoom. I do have some reports. First of all, my meeting schedule for the next week. It's starting to slow down a little bit. But on April 1st, this Thursday, the Town Government Study Committee Selectmen Study Team is at 7 o'clock, and that's via Zoom. And actually, Monday, April 5th, the Wenham Human Rights Committee is at 6 o'clock, their monthly meeting, also via Zoom. Regarding some reports, first, an update on the library roof project. As you may know, we had found the warranties for the roof repair, and we were hopeful after that inspections were done by the companies that we may be able to receive some funding from it. But unfortunately, after review of the warranties by the companies, we're basically outside of some of the warranted items regarding that. So regarding any cost savings we may pick up from the warranties, we were notified today it is very much unlikely. Next is through Congressman Moulton's office. We filed under the community project funding request for FY22. The 1-ton dump truck for the Public Works Department that was not placed in this year's capital budget. We did place it as an application with Congressman Moulton's office. I just gave him a promotion for the upcoming appropriations budget. The amount was $75,000, and we'll see if it makes it through the next round of cuts for that. Also from personnel, we are narrowing a group of candidates for our conservation coordinator's position, and we will be notifying those individuals to be interviewed by the appropriate boards and committees in the upcoming weeks. We do thank the many candidates who did apply for the positions, and the field is being narrowed down as we speak. Also, we have another position that has opened up due to a retirement and is being posted for a laborer driver in the Public Works Department. If you're interested, please log on to our website to get further details. And last update, and I'm sure Water Superintendent may bring this up. I was speaking to him today about our hydrant flushing programs, as Hamilton had just posted when they'll be doing theirs. And according to our superintendent, we will probably be starting around April 20th, but he will be sending out notices and we'll be putting up boards around town about the flushing program and on our website. So look forward to that later on in April. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next slide, please. All right, so Mary Beth, hopefully we continue doing well here in Wenham, I think, on the rates, but your update, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I have less sanguine news than last week. Since we met last week, we have had 11 new cases in Wenham, which is an increase we haven't seen the likes of in quite a number of weeks. If I'm just checking quickly, I believe that Wenham moved out of gray and into, no, still gray by the skin of our teeth. But we're going to move up in designation for the coming week. So I know that the weather has been lovely, and I just would encourage everyone to keep in mind a couple of things. Variants in the state of Massachusetts are particularly the B117, which is the one that was formally designated as coming from the UK, is widespread and community spread now. There have been a number of cases of the P1, the variant that was initially identified in Brazil. We locally have even had one of the variants that was originally identified in South Africa. So variants are active. COVID transmission is active. It's active among all age groupings. We're seeing, everything from children to seniors, but the bulk of the cases tend to be in the late teens to early 40s. So please, everyone, do wear your mask. I know the weather is nice, but we still have a mask order in the state of Massachusetts from the governor. Thank you, Tom. Still have a mask order. So if you're not in your own home or in your own vehicle, you should be wearing a mask. If you're sharing your vehicle with someone outside of your household, unless you're both fully vaccinated, you should have your mask on. So we really need to do our very best to try to curb this down. We are seeing statewide in Massachusetts increases in new infections and unfortunately new deaths. So we need to, I know everyone's tired, but we can make it to the finish line. We're getting more and more people vaccinated. And I will just say that vaccination plays a really important role. Although it may not prevent all infections, it's preventing infections from being deadly. So it is important. The vaccine will keep you out of the ICU, and out of the funeral home. So please do get vaccinated when you can and continue to use all the mitigation strategies. And I don't have any new testing or vaccination distribution updates at this time. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for anybody? So as in the past, we need to keep our guard up against this. And as Mary Beth says, whenever you're outside, especially with this better weather, make sure you have your mask on. Thank you, Mary Beth. All right, Chairman's report. So coming up on a year since last town meeting, and yet we still have openings on committees that need to be filled. So Cemetery Commission has an opening, Conservation Commission has one, Council on Aging, the Hamilton Wenham Community Access and Media, the Hamilton Wenham Cultural Council, the Historic Commission, Iron Rail Commission, the Open Space and Recreation Committee, and the Zoning Board of Appeals. So especially as Zoning Board of Appeals, there's 3 openings there that we really need help with. On the others too, these positions have sat open for almost a full year now, and it just puts the more workload on the town hall staff and on those volunteers that are on the committees and commissions currently. So please step up. Some of them are, just 1-year terms, others for 2 or 3-year terms, but please, we need to get these positions filled. So easy to do, just go online and then give Nikki a call or email her at nroebuck@wenhamma.gov. And you can go on to the town website and find out who's chairman of each of these committees and give them a call and see just what the workload is, because it does vary, but some of those are not a very heavy lift. So hopefully we get some volunteers. All right, so I think it's 9 days to go. Special town election on Thursday, April 8th, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Voting's at the town hall. There'll be a one-way traffic going through the town hall in the back door and out the front, and walk back around to your car or convenience. April 2nd, coming up quick, is the last day to request an absentee ballot by mail, and April 7th at 12 noon is the deadline for absentee voting in person. On the ballot is the one position for selectman running through 2022 annual election, and one position of town clerk, a 2-year term running through the 2023 annual town election. So let's have a good turnout for that. All right, next big event's the annual town meeting. It's going to be at Pingree Park on Saturday, May 1st at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And we're going to have the, not the biggest tent, but the tent available for the crowd size. Parking will be at the library and on the Main Street entrance side. And we'll have all the safety measures in place. Mask, of course, will be required and so forth. But important meeting. We got to get the full budget for the year coming ahead up to speed and complete it. And as we saw earlier, your warrants will be coming out and the town report will be online. And again, if you want the hard copy, we're trying to save money. It's about $3,000 we're saving on printing cost alone. So if you need a hard copy, you can go online and get one of those as well. The town meeting is followed by the annual town election, which will be the following Thursday. And like the special, will be at Town Hall, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. April 9th, in this case, is the last day to register to vote for both the town meeting and annual election. So if you haven't registered, if you're new to town, or if you know anybody that's new to town, give them a call and say, come on by and get registered. April 30th will be the last day to request the absentee ballot by mail. And May 5th, that's the day before the election, at noon will be the deadline for arranging absentee voting in person with the town clerk. So run through the list. I think we have candidates running for each of these positions, but Board of Assessors, Board of Health, Board of Selectmen, Hamilton Wenham Library Trustees. I think the Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee has 2 candidates at least for the 2 positions. moderator, planning board, water commission, and Wenham Housing Authority.
Gary, I think we have Wilma on with us, our assistant town
Oh,
clerk.
yes. All right. So Wilma, you want to give us an update as well on the preparation for the elections?
You're on mute, Wilma.
I thought you could read my lips, Nikki. Well, we're in good shape. Terry, who was Diane's assistant town clerk, Terry Lundstedt, is like a superwoman with the election. We did our ballot testing the other day. Our machines work. Everything seems to be in order. We are running close to maybe 100 absentee ballots that have been sent out so far. It's hard to predict the turnout, but you have contests for 2 races. So my guess is that it will be a busy day at the polling place. On the annual town election, there are candidates, as the chairman mentioned, for each position. Next Tuesday is the withdrawal date. So after that, we'll be firming up the ballot and ordering the ballot for the annual town election. If you have any questions, the town clerk's office is currently open Monday through Thursday from 9 to 4:30. Please call. Either I'll answer the phone or Terry will answer the phone. If you're wondering who I am a retired town clerk from Salisbury, Massachusetts, and currently a selectman in Salisbury. I've been filling in your town clerk's office until the special election, which will be next Thursday. It's been a pleasure working here. There are some really nice people, and I want everybody to come out and vote, make it worth our while to be there, please. If you have any questions, just ask.
Well, thank you, Wilma, and thank you for substituting in here during this interim after Diane left. So a lot of excellent work being done and important time as we come up on the election and town meeting. So thank you, Wilma.
You're welcome.
All right, so tonight, following our previous meetings, we have the Wenham Water Department giving you a briefing on their department, their personnel, what they do. And, it's a area that's perhaps not always thought about, but certainly is the most critical resource we have in this town. So I think, Eric, if you're ready, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Gary. So in case anybody doesn't know, my name's Eric Mansfield. I'm the superintendent here in town. During this session, we'll be talking about the Water Commission, the staff, where your water sources and distribution system, department functions, finances. Go on to the next slide. Oh. And then the next slide. So the Water Commission, their charge comes from Mass General Law, Chapter 41, 69B. The Water Commission is an elected 3-member board, each serving a 3-year term. Currently, Ernest Ashley is the chairman, Mark Liphart, and then Diane Dixon. Water Commission, we typically meet once a month for about an hour, sometimes longer, depending on the situation. Next slide. Water Commission has exclusive control of the water department and the water system. They regulate the use of water and they set the prices, set the rates. All the income from the water shall be appropriated to defray all operating costs. So we don't use any tax money here. All the water bills are paid by the water users. And every year we do on the annual town report, you'll have a report from the Water Commission letting you know what we've done over the year. I don't know if Ernest, I know Ernest is on. I don't know if he wants to address this part. I can obviously also.
Is Ernest there?
Okay, so there's a 3-person commission, quorum of 2 required, obviously, meets each month. We've been going by Zoom lately. We review all the pumping records, the Ipswich water levels, to see where we're at. That would be more related to any water bans we have in place during seasonal restrictions. We address any citizen issues at that time. We look at, where our water use is, the income we have coming in, whether we need to adjust the rates. At that time, and also according to our bylaws, we impose the water use restrictions that are seasonal from May to September, the end of September. And those are every year. And then when the Ipswich River is below a certain level, we will implement a full restriction on all outdoor water use. We take care of any directives from Mass DEP as far as new sampling, new protocols. We do. We have inspections from Mass DEP every 3 years. So all those things we'll look at. We look at all potential sources of contaminants, whether it's any activity within our zone 1, which is within 400 feet of the well, anything that's outside of that. So we review all those things. We look at anything that needs to be upgraded in the system, and we look at, getting the funding for that. And then they also provide an annual performance review.
And Eric, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, because I tried to chime in earlier. So thank you. You can continue and go through the staffing.
All right. So presently we have myself, we have 1 primary operator, Lenny Thunberg, who is retiring in October after over 30 years of service. And we have a part-time administrative assistant that we share with the DPW for 13 hours a week, Sheila Bouvier. And anytime we have an emergency situation, we do call upon the DPW to help us out. It looks like we will be able to hire a second employee this year, which will really help us with preventative maintenance, valve exercising, getting the hydrants painted, anything that is confined space entry, things that we deal with on a regular basis. So we're excited about that. So Mass drinking water regulations, they do require that every public water system has a primary and a secondary operator. We're lucky enough right now, we have 2 primary operators, but we do need another operator to always be on staff when the primary operator or a secondary operator is not available. The primary operator must be certified at the grade of the system. And we are a grade 1 treatment and a grade 2 distribution. The secondary operator is there in case one of the primary operators cannot be around. They could respond to a call or respond to any emergency. The certified operators, they have to be present at all times to ensure the public health is adequately protected. So where's our water come from? Well, Wenham Lake is the water supply for Beverly Salem Water Board. We do not use any water from Wenham Lake. We have 2 wells on off of Pleasant Street, approximately 60, 80 feet deep. They draw from the Great Wenham Swamp, which backwaters the Ipswich River, and that provides us a natural filter of clay. We do have extraordinarily clean water, very little iron, very little manganese, which is rare in this area. So we pump the water from the wells into the distribution system, which includes 221 fire hydrants, a 750,000 gallon storage tank on Lord's Hill, a 600,000 gallon storage tank on the Iron Rail property, and through 29.5 miles of water main. And we have 1,218 customers at this time. So water quality, we do daily testing. Every day we go to the wells, we test the wells, we test the water, we test the pH, we check to make sure that the chlorine dose is correct, the fluoride is correct. We do monthly bacteria testing, monthly reporting to Mass DEP and the Department of Public Health, quarterly testing for contaminants as required by Mass DEP and federal EPA. We do semi-annual flushing, which we didn't do any flushing in the fall because of COVID. So we will be doing flushing coming up at the end of April, as Tom had mentioned. We'd have an annual statistical report that goes to Mass DEP that records all our water use, any activity that we had, looking for unaccounted for water and other things like that. And cross-connection surveys. We do an annual consumer confidence report that we send out to all customers, and that will be coming out around June. There'll be a notice in your water bill that'll tell you when that's available. Other things we do, water meter repair, upgrades, final water readings, which we've done a lot of those over the past few years. We do quarterly water meter readings, which is, most of them are radio reads. We can drive around with a handheld computer and read the readings. Some of them we still have manual reads that we do need to get. Hydrants, we scrape and paint them, trim the grass, the weeds around them, repair them when they get hit or when they're just not working correctly. We winterize them, install flags, so that way we can identify them during a snowstorm, and we do snow removal on the hydrants. Other maintenance we do is we inspect the next exercise gate valve, which are valves that we could use to isolate certain sections of the distribution system in case of a main leak. We do leak detection, and we've been doing that on a yearly basis around town, which has been really beneficial to us for finding and repairing leaks. We do water leak repair. There's just homeowners that don't understand what their water meter reading might be, or they might disagree with it. A lot of times when we go out, we'll find that they had a toilet that was leaking, or they left a hose on one day, and it's, and we can help them understand that the amount of water that can actually go through the meter during those times. We can identify leaks. We've had times where people have homes, so they have a barn, they have a line that runs out to a barn. They don't realize that maybe they may have a leak in their barn. And, we help them find those things. We do tank inspections on a monthly basis. We mow and string at the wells and the tanks. We service all the pumps, emergency generators, and general maintenance. We have 4 buildings, and we do snow plowing for ourselves, and we also help with DPW.
Oh, no, let's move on.
Administrative wise, we respond to resident questions, complaints. We write work orders and follow up on those, schedule final water readings. We answer questions about water bills, general accounting and data entry, budget prep, monitoring, annual and monthly reporting for the town, presentations or reporting to other boards, and public communication about water bans or other important information. And we ensure compliance with Mass DEP and other agencies. So on the finance side, again, water rates are set by the commission based on historical data and future needs. We did establish a conservation rate back in 2018 in trying to get people to, it was an effort to get people to reduce their usage during the summer and maybe not have such a green lawn. We recently did raise the rates to contribute the 100,000 to the town budget that was asked for by us for to help offset some of the administrative costs of town hall. And we're not in the business of selling water. We really are here to produce, a need that the town has at the very lowest cost that we can, and still have money to look towards the future, towards future upgrades. The budget is the salaries, wages, expenses, and all capital debts and bonds. The water budget is 100% funded by the water revenue. All capital purchases or bonds are funded by the water revenue, and we use no tax money. Everything is funded completely by water users. So this is slide I just added, which is a discussion on per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. So recently, Mass DEP issued a new drinking water standard for the sum of 6 PFAS compounds. So PFAS are a family of chemicals used for nonstick, stain-resistant, waterproof coatings. There are numerous consumer products, industrial uses, firefighting foams. Manufacturing of certain PFAS was discontinued in the U.S. decades ago. They may still be used in imported products. PFAS are resilient and do not degrade very easily. As a result, they are widely found in the environment as products are disposed of. And PFAS leaches into soil and water, finding its way into food and drinking water sources. So the new standard requires all Massachusetts public water suppliers to test for PFAS. The sum of the PFAS 6, which they've identified 6 out of 18 that they're going to identify right now, may not exceed 20 parts per trillion. So Mass DEP offered a grant, and we took advantage of that to do some early PFAS testing to see where we are at. So we did start with the testing, and the initial results we had were at 16.7 parts per trillion, which is below the 20 parts per trillion, which is the maximum contaminant level. And Mass DEP requires all systems with initial results below the maximum contaminant level of 20 parts per trillion, but greater than 10 parts per trillion to conduct routine monthly sampling. So we just started routine monthly sampling on March 16th. And as we get those results, we'll be posting them to the website as we receive them. I still have not received the results from this one, but as soon as we get them, they will be available. Test results will also be available in our annual consumer confidence report with more information on it. Or if we do happen to receive a test result above the 20 parts per trillion, we will be sending out public notification to all our customers. We do understand you may have a lot of questions and concerns. I know it's been in the news. So if you have any questions, please call the office or visit the Water Department website for more information. I do have some links that were put up there for people to be able to get more information on it.
Thank you, Eric.
Ernest, you got anything to add there?
No, I think Eric did a thorough job, obviously, and I think that, as he said in this last issue, that will be continued questions and will be more data as we also collect additional samples.
Certainly. Is there any recommendations other than conserve water during the summer months from the Water Commission for the public at large while we have the audience here?
Well, thank you very much, Gary. And yes, I think that we do have sufficient water for our drinking water and typical needs. We really run into issues when we do use a lot of water for irrigation in the summer. So there are ways to have a moderately green lawn and use less water, and we encourage people to definitely do that. And then We will have water bans most likely as a result of the lower water levels in the Ipswich River, which is our trigger. So we usually post a sign that says mandatory water conservation. And that's kind of a phrase of art to say, please follow our bylaws and not water during the middle of the day. But when we are required to, we do put out the red signs that say mandatory water ban. And so that's when we really need to pay attention to our water use and not use it unnecessarily outside. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you. So there is overall limits on the water we can draw on from the Ipswich watershed in the summer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have permitted amounts, withdrawal amounts that we don't want to exceed. And then we are required, once the Ipswich River drops below a certain level, to put out the mandatory water bans. But as I say, during the winter time, spring and fall, only really during the summer do we start to exceed the amount that would push us up towards our withdrawal limits.
All right, thank you. So I hope the public realizes that, we've essentially had two dedicated workers, hopefully getting a third on board here, that conduct this system 365 days a year and have, as you saw, a long list of duties they comply. One last thing, Eric, last town meeting that we had a item, I think, upgrade on your reporting system on the wells itself. How's that going?
Bid opening for that is on this Thursday, April 1st. And so we're excited. We had a number of people take out the bid paper on that, the bid paperwork. So we're excited to see what we get back on that. And we do have a requirement on there that they get this done before the end of this fiscal year. So we'll see how it goes.
And this new system essentially is a modernization of your reporting or tracking.
Yes, Eric, I guess it's the
Yeah, I think
ability
Eric's
to
frozen there. All right.
communicate between all of the various features of the system to Eric. And
Oh, am I back?
All right.
Oh, am
We
I
keep
back now?
losing you there. All right. Well, I think Eric keeps freezing there, so we'll move on. So thank you, Ernest, and thank you, Eric, and I hope the public realizes what great water we have, as historically we've been known for. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody have any other matters that they'd like to bring up? Just the last reminders, get out and vote. Make sure you get that town meeting on your calendar. And Tom, any last words? Well, I saw
Mr.
Jim.
Chairman, did you remind the public that we'll be reopening on a part-time basis?
Yes. So we need to do that. So the Board of Health met last Thursday. We discussed reopening a town hall. So I think, Tom, we're setting that up for this coming Monday. Is that correct?
This starting on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, all right. So limited hours, the town hall will be open. We'll continue to ask you to make appointments as possible, but the drop-ins are now allowed during those certain hours. I see Jim Reynolds, a hand up there.
I just had a water-related question as it relates to consumer use. Is Gordon College considered one person or a single user?
Well, I think Eric can answer that if he's still on. But actually, Gordon College and that part of Wenham is actually over on the Beverly water system. So the
Okay.
Wenham water system kind of ends, as I
Oh,
understand.
well, hold on if you can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Okay. So Gordon College is, their water is supplied by the Beverly Salem water system. So we have no way to regulate them at all.
And that goes to the same for Parsons Hill area and all the homes over on the 128 area. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. Anything past Charles Davis and Gusset is served by Beverly Salem Water Supply.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Eric.
Good question. I know that there's historically been a lot of misunderstandings that no, we don't get our water from Wenham Lake, and no, Gordon College is not on our system and stuff. So I'm glad that the water department could be here tonight and set the record straight and let us know all the great work they do. All right, Tom, anything else last minute?
That's fine. Thank you, Eric, for a great presentation.
All right,
Thank you.
Jackie or Nikki, anything to add? All right. All right.
Nothing for
then,
me.
All right. So we'll see everybody on next Tuesday this time, and also at the polls on that week from Thursday. Thank you, and good.